Yes, that's right.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Game Society podcast for the month of February 2017. I am Adam Korlick, and I am joined by, of course, the other two former pimps. Go for it. What are your names? I don't remember.
My name's Emery, and I'm still a pimp. I pimp every weekend.
My name's Aaron, and our channel's still called Game Society Pimps by us. We don't have to call it Game Society.
Exactly.
Oh, we don't? Why did we do that then?
I don't know, man. Why did we do that?
Oh, all right. Anyway.
Well, the answer, okay, this is my answer. You guys want to know my answer?
Yeah.
So, I was at a wedding, and I was talking to some people, and they were like, hey, so, what do? You're the best man. You delivered a nice best man speech. We want to know a bit more about you. You seem like a good guy. And I'm like, I make videos on YouTube. And they're like, what's the name of your channel? And I had to fucking say that it was Game Society Pimps. And it's awkward situations like that where I'm talking to like people in their 40s, who don't quite have the same sense of humor. I just thought it was, I was like, man, do we really have to keep calling ourselves pimps? And
it gives us options. Let's just put it that way. So like if there's, the guy that shared our video in his top 10
Watch Mojo.
In his top 10 Fallout playthroughs, he was like, pimps? I don't know. Well, he was just like really confused about it. And so I was just like, that was one of the moments where I was like, we should give ourselves the option of not confusing people and still making them want to share our videos. But we ourselves can call ourselves whatever the fuck we want. And in our videos, we can say that too. It doesn't matter. It's only just like if we're talking to an 80-year-old grandma and she's like, what do you do? We make a channel called the Game Society Pimps, and we like, we sell women and stuff. So we don't have to have that implication.
Yeah. And other YouTubers do it too. Like, the first one that comes to my mind is PewDiePie. Like, he calls his fans, like, the Bro Army or whatever. But he didn't call his channel the Bro Army. So he has the option, of referring to people as bros. And he doesn't have to say that to the 80-year-old grandmas that he has to talk to on a regular basis. Yeah,
it's all about the flexibility. You got to be flexible for your 80-year-old grandma because she has a hard time getting into the position anymore, so...
Yeah, and you never know when you're going to find a really awesome 80-year-old grandma who plays Skyrim, and, you want to impress her.
There is one that has a channel, I think, where she plays it, so...
Yes, exactly. That was the reference I was making. Yep.
Oh, good job. Reference. Cool.
Yeah, that was fantastic, gentlemen. Yeah, I remember that because I would go to a lot of, like, events, media events, and every time that somebody would introduce me to other channels, they would always choke on that part of the name.
Yeah.
They'd be like, this is Adam, he's with Game Society Pimps. Like, just kind of, like, they trail off there because they didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Some of them would actively say just Game Society because they refused to say that part, or they would change it back to Game Society Films, even though they didn't know us from that point, which was interesting. It's for more sensitive people. It's difficult for them. It's like, to them, it's like saying like, hey, what's your channel name? And it's like, oh, Game Society, fuck you, fuck off. Yeah.
So
Game Society don't watch. Yeah.
We got rid of it.
Got it.
We just got rid of it on the outside so that the sad, easily hurt people that need a safe space wouldn't be affected by it.
I know. Imagine if, like, 5 years ago when we made the channel, we decided to call ourselves the Game Society Nazis. Just think of all the shit we would be in right now, right?
Yeah. Well, that's basically what we did.
Basically.
Mm-hmm. There was one other, like, logistical reason. We think YouTube was hiding a lot of our content because of our name. Because they do flag certain words, and we now have reason to think that pimps was one of them.
Yeah.
Possible.
And since that is kind of featured in almost every video, that didn't help our cause.
And it also didn't help, if I'm sure like certain advertisers we would be flagged if there was any ads on our video that where they didn't want that word involved, then that would have fucked us too, so.
Exactly.
Anyways,
so there you go.
So many reasons.
That's that story. Anything else going on with you guys? Aaron, you just went to Boston, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Boston for NerdCon Nerdfighteria, created by Hank and John Green, the Vlog brothers. They've been around for 10 years now. They were celebrating their 10th year anniversary, and they were just basically inviting their friends to this event, as well as thousands of fans, and it was really, really great. Just really positive, really fun. I got to do a whole bunch of panels. We did a live beer and board games broadcast, and the best part, I got to hang out with our fans and get drunk with them.
Ooh.
It was so fucking fun. And basically that all happened because of our Game Society Pimps Discord channel that, as a patron, depending on what level you're at, you have access to. And they a lot of our fans have been meeting each other and learning about each other and being friends and stuff like that through that Discord channel. And so I highly recommend, if you are a patron, checking out that option, because they're really cool people and we had a fuck ton of fun.
Yeah, and there's almost always somebody on that channel, doing something, playing a video game or just chilling and, ready to talk.
People they get up, they go hang out on the channel while they're getting ready for whatever they're going to do for the day, and they're there. Some of them are there, half the day. Some of them are there on and off. It's cool. It's really neat.
And we get on there occasionally.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
All right. Anything else going on with either of you, or do you want to move on to our first subject?
I don't know. I think I'm ready. I just ate a whole large fried rice, chicken fried rice. So I'm ready to move.
Just to clarify, Aaron went to Boston and you ate a bunch of fried rice.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Our first subject comes from a Patreon backer named Abed. He's at the tier in which he gets to pick a subject for us to discuss. Unfortunately, he didn't actually get back to me, but I picked one on his behalf. So, Abed, this goes out to you. And it's kind of in our old tradition. We're going to talk about the fact that Bill Paxton died.
Oh yeah. Celebrity death. Sad celebrity death. And he was...
On the day of the fucking Oscars, too.
Yeah.
In memoriam. Didn't even have time to add him, right?
I don't know. I did not watch the Oscars.
I know Jennifer Aniston opened by mentioning him, probably for that reason.
He was mentioned, but he'll have to be in the in memoriam, I imagine, for next year. But yeah, I guess it was complications from heart surgery. He was only 61. It was very sad. Yeah. And I remember him from a lot of movies like Twister, specifically. I don't know why, but I remember him from Twister.
Twister was huge, even though it really didn't deserve to be. It wasn't really that good of a movie.
I fucking loved that movie when it came out. Are you kidding me?
Everyone loved it when it came out. Go watch it again.
I don't think I will.
It does not hold up.
So much of my childhood, and in fact, pretty much anything from the 90s, you can kind of say that about. So yeah, go try that again. See if you like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff from the 90s that didn't hold up.
Go try Pogs again. See if you like those.
No, but that's not a movie.
Go get a yo-yo. Go get a yo-yo.
Give it some time.
That.
There's gonna be a Pogs movie. There has to be at some point. But yeah, no. Bill Paxton. I mean, people underestimated him. Like, he was a big. He was in the James Cameron crew, so he's actually in a lot of these like amazing movies like Titanic, True Lies. People forget he's in the first Terminator movie. He has one scene.
Yeah.
And this was something that, Emery, you may remember this. Bill Paxton is one of only 2 actors who has been killed on screen by an alien, a predator, and a Terminator.
Oh, God, who was the second one?
The other one was Lance Henriksen.
Oh, Lance Henriksen? Wow.
Yeah, remember we worked with him once, sort of. And remember he tweeted out the alien isolation walking through once? Mm-hmm. No, but the funny thing is, because Bill Paxton just died and people were like talking about that, there was actually debate whether or not Lance Henriksen even counts, because he was in Alien. He wasn't actually alive to begin with. He was a robot, and then technically he didn't die because he's in the third one. So it's like, does that even count? And then everybody forgets that. And then everybody forgets he was killed by a predator in AVP because nobody watched it. Point is, Bill Paxton legitimately died from all 3 of these things.
Yeah, I guess I would say that Bishop was only maimed by the alien, not killed. So.
In Cameron's version, he was killed, but
the
studio forced him back. But whatever.
I hope on his death certificate it actually says the cause of death: killed by an alien, a predator, and the Terminator.
That would be kind of disrespectful to his family, but
But it would be really
yeah,
awesome.
why- It would be awesome. Hopefully, that's what he wanted. Yeah, it's weird to think that he's dead, man. One of my favorite roles he was ever in was actually the slimy used car salesman in True Lies. You ever watch that?
Mm-hmm.
Another James Cameron movie. Yeah, you will be missed, Bill Paxton.
And luckily,
R.I.P.
none of us is going to say it. I don't think we should.
Oh, okay.
I think you should say it.
Say what?
Game over, man.
No.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
Sorry.
That's a good one.
Sorry.
I like that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Couldn't help it. I actually didn't realize that he was Game Over Man until he died. Yeah. I remember that line, obviously, but I just didn't realize it was him. He was young. He was very young.
Yeah.
I know. It was like 89 or whatever when he made it.
I saw somebody complaining
88.
like, why does everyone just remember when he said Game Over Man? That's really not fair. He did all these other things and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I say everybody's got to go and complain about something on Facebook, so it's
Yeah, that's how that works.
important.
Phew.
Anything else you would like to say about Bill Paxton?
You rock, Bill Paxton. You've gone too quick. Hope you're having fun wherever you went.
All right. Well, thank you, Abed, for that particular subject. And we'll move on to our next one here, which comes from another Patreon backer. This is Casey Piper. And Casey says, do we prefer open world games with a bad story or closed world games with great stories?
Okay. And is this a personal preference or for videos?
Yeah. This is for, well, I assume it's for actual purposes of play. But I guess you could answer it either way.
Okay. Well, for me, it's a really tough question because an example of one of my favorite games of all time was World of Warcraft, and that's a very open game, open world, it's an MMO, but the story, I did not give a shit about at all. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, I would definitely say that story is like one of the most important things to me. I really don't care that much about it being open. I would much rather have a nice story, so it's kind of tough. It's a toss-up. I think it really depends on the game because you can make a good version of both.
Unfortunately, I have to completely agree with you, which I don't like doing. But yeah, you're not wrong. Like when I look at video games, like I don't necessarily value a really good story. Like you play anything like, shall we say, old school. Like fucking Mario Brothers has no story, and if whatever little story it has is irrelevant, but you still enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Even though that doesn't matter. Whereas something that can have like a really great story may not be a game I would be that interested in. I'm assuming a lot of like Final Fantasy stuff people are really into, and they really like the story. That's never been a game for me. But then again, some games with amazing stories are awesome to me. I don't know. So I'm right there with you. Where it again, it just depends on the game.
It also totally depends on whether one or the other is good. So if you've got an open world game and with a bad story, but the open world aspect of it is really good, then it really almost doesn't matter if the story is that good because you're gonna enjoy the exploration and just going around and doing all the other stuff. If it's a game where you don't have a lot of choices and and the story's bad, you're definitely gonna hate it. But if the story's good and it's not open world, then you'll probably still be into it, although I kind of feel like the story it's a tough one. Like, okay, so with like Dishonored, for example, the story is pretty good, and it's not exactly open world, but you do have a lot of choices of how you want to play the game, and so for me that that makes it worth playing alone, even when there's times when the story falls short. And just like the aesthetic of the game makes it work for me. Like there's all these other aspects that I actually care about too, beyond just that, whether it's open world or not. So it's a complex question, but you can definitely still have fun in an open world game if the story almost doesn't matter to some extent.
Yeah.
All right,
here's a real life example. I would compare it to like a roller coaster, like riding on a roller coaster versus just driving around really fast in, a convertible. Like both of them are really enjoyable. With the convertible, you get to choose, what you do. And that's the open world. On a roller coaster, you're kind of, you're literally just going down a track. They're both really enjoyable for their own reasons,
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, actually.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we're all kind of right there on the fence where we can go either way. But if we have to answer his question, let's try to use some sort of examples here. An open world game with a terrible story, I would think, would be something like one of the Cabela's games, where you have a giant open area, but the fucking story is retarded and awful, and it doesn't matter at all. But an example of a closed world game with a great story would probably be something like Until Dawn, where you can't really move around that much, but the story is what's driving it forward. It's a narrative-based game. So I hate to use those two examples because I'm assuming we would all agree that Until Dawn's a better game. But you got to kind of look at it from that standpoint. And if you have to pick one side of the fence to fall down on, which are you going to do?
I suppose if I had to pick, I would say story matters the most to me. I would rather be in a railroaded game, but with a really good story, than have an open game with like a shit story.
See, now, but here, the problem with the Cabela's example is that even if the story in Cabela's, for whatever reason, was fascinating, the gameplay is still terrible. So imagine if a Cabela's game had really good gameplay, but it was still like, we have to go shoot all the elks. There's 1,000 elks, and they're going to, for some reason, it was captivating that they're going to take the fort or something.
Yeah.
The story's retarded, but you're actually like, man, the game mechanics of this are good.
Actually, that's a really good story. Like 1,000 elks attacking your camp or something would be awesome.
Fine. Okay, I just wrote a better Cabela's game than Cabela ever did. Great,
guys. I have the perfect example. I have the perfect question. This is aimed at Aaron. Okay, So Aaron, imagine if you had to play Grand Theft Auto 5, but you could only play the story mode, or you could only play the multiplayer. What would you do?
Oh man, that is a good question.
Because the multiplayer is like a perfect open world example with no story. And, the story mode obviously is fairly railroaded.
I think I've had more fun with the online component than I have with the story itself. Like, the story was good at first, but actually never finished the game. I lost interest about 3/4 of the way through and just didn't finish it. And it might have been because I was distracted by the online portion and just mostly wanted to play that. So... I would choose the online portion and the
hopefully not get banned.
Yeah, hopefully not get banned. And there is no story in that, so that's why I'm saying like, even if there is no story and it's just open world, like you create your own story a lot of times. Yeah. So, I mean,
you do love 7 Days.
Yes, and there is no story, and that's like my favorite game of all time. So I would definitely side on,
the open world.
Having choices, getting to kind of create your own story, because there is a story actually. It's the story of you surviving and how you do it and like what choices you make. So that's to me, that's freedom, dude. That's America, and that's what I want.
Yeah, it's funny because like if I was to answer for what makes better videos for our channel, what would I rather play on our channel? I would definitely side with you, Aaron.
Right.
But for my own personal enjoyment, I think I like the story-driven games more.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So you both fall on the opposite sides of the fence.
Yep.
Yeah, but there's only 2 fucking sides on a fence. You make it seem like a really big deal.
It's a big border wall, So you gotta pick a side.
Yeah. You and I are enemies for life now, Aaron.
There are actually 4 sides on a fence.
Technically, yes.
Because
the fence has to end somewhere.
Yeah, you can't stand on them, but they're there. They're just one is buried, and the others. Sometimes you can walk on the the top part. Border wall, probably.
Yeah, only Ant-Man can walk on them.
Oh yeah.
So he can pick multiple sides, but the rest of us have to pick another.
There's technically infinite sides of a fence if you're talking about Ant-Man.
I'm always talking about Ant-Man. When was the last time you heard me not talk about Ant-Man?
When I was sleeping. You were whispering into my ear.
No, I was talking about it. You were just sleeping.
I don't think you were talking about Ant-Man.
Okay. All right.
Next subject.
Okay. Well, thank you, Casey. We appreciate that. Now we have a round of shout-outs. You guys excited? This is always Emery's favorite part. He gets upset. So, all right, Emery, to satisfy you as best I could, I took all the names. Baby. I took all the names and I put them in a random order generator. So I'm not responsible in any way, shape, or form for the order of these names.
Thank you.
Okay?
Cool.
In fact,
Thank you.
once again, you pick. Do you want to go first or second?
I want to go first.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
Then Aaron will go second. So shout-outs. These people have all are Patreon backers who are at the level in which they get a shout-out. You can do that too at any time or pick a subject. All the information is on our Patreon page. So the first shout-out goes to Chaos Rabbit.
Chaos Rabbit. You're way, way cooler than Chaos Chicken, first of all.
Oh my God, yes.
Second of all, you just scared the shit out of my cat. She just like fucking freaked out and jumped off the table when I yelled your name. But on a more specific level, you sweat greatness. All of your body fluids could essentially be filtered and made into some sort of amazing energy drink that gives people boners and a lot of calories and energy to make it through the day. All because of your sweat.
You're the best flavor of Mountain Dew.
Wow.
Mountain
Dew
That's
Chaos
intense.
Rabbit.
Mountain Dew Chaos Rabbit. Code Chaos Rabbit.
There you go.
All right, Aaron. Next up, Matthew Thela or Thela, Thela.
It's probably like Thela.
I don't know. You
Thela?
decide.
The
You
La?
decide. You get to pick Matthew's last name.
Matthew Thela. Matthew Taylor. Matthew Taylor.
No, that one's definitely wrong.
You are the fifth side of a fence.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's all I gotta say about you. Because that says a
Doesn't
lot.
that mean he like invented time travel or something?
That's right. You are going to be the 14th Doctor.
All right. Thank you, Matthew, for discovering the fifth dimension.
Thanks,
Aaron,
Matthew.
Emery, John Mangrum.
Johnny boy. Hey there, buddy. You know, if I was trapped with you in a cold hotel in the middle of the mountains for a whole 3 months and went insane, you would be the first person that I murdered because I love you so much. And I would do it. I would chop you up into little bits, and I would make you into a pasta, which is a great honor, and then I would eat you up.
That sounds
That's how
like
good you are.
really good idea for a video game.
Yeah, that would be a good video game.
Serial killer that makes people into pasta. A snowy mountain.
That's almost what Bob's Burgers was about, minus the snowy mountain and the pasta
And John Mangrum.
and John Mangrum.
Yeah, that's really when the show fell apart, is when they got rid of John Mangrum. All right, Aaron. Brett Thomas.
Brett Thomas, if I was trapped in a snowy mountain cave with Brett Thomas and we had nothing to eat, I would push him off the edge of the mountain.
Why wouldn't you eat him?
Because he's poopy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brett's like 98% feces.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to eat that.
So I would just get rid of the temptation.
Rude.
I'm saying I would make the right choice.
Yeah, personally, I would use him for fertilization, like to grow crops and stuff.
You can't
I think
grow
that's-
crops on a snowy mountain, you dumbass.
But you just wait until it stops snowing, jerk.
Do you know how mountains work?
Yes, they have like soil underneath, and you put Brett there, and then plants come out. Think
I
about
see.
it.
Okay, so
you're gonna wait for global warming to warm up the mountain.
He's talking about
We don't have to wait long.
He was
done.
talking about waiting, at least like 100 years or something. So it'll be a long wait.
I'll give it 3 hours. Anyway, Aaron, or not Aaron, the other one, Emery. Yes, you. Jaslyn Lembeck.
Jaslyn. I always get Jaslyn, even with the fucking random name generator. I always.
And when you choose the order.
Exactly. You're inescapable, Jaslyn. You're like a fucking implacable robot from the plane of law who's been sent to punish me for some rule that I broke in the womb that I wasn't even aware of. Like, you're unavoidable, and ultimately I will die at your hand.
Isn't that kind of like the curse of the monkey's paw or whatever that is, where you try to get rid of it and it can't? It always comes back.
Yes, it's the curse of the Jazelin's paw.
The Jaslyn Lembeck
Yes.
hand.
Or maybe you're unavoidable like a delicious beer sitting on the counter.
You're an alcoholic.
I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
Yes.
Like all of your thoughts go straight to, hey, where's the booze?
Yeah, where is the beer?
Well, you can ask Michael Vanderslice because he's up next.
Michael Vanderslice, where is the beer? A poem for Michael Vanderslice. Where is the beer? Who put the beer away? That was my beer. Don't ever touch my beer. Michael Vanderslice, you're my beer.
I thought you were gonna say something like stupid, like slice me open a beer.
I would never use a pun in someone's name ever again.
Yeah, that's the one disadvantage of not having Emery do that one. Okay.
I've sworn off puns completely. I think that Emery has a more serious problem than alcoholism, than my alcoholism. He's a punaholic,
Oh, no.
and that is far, far worse and far, far more. It will destroy your liver much quicker.
Well, I'm gonna give him a challenge then because I don't think he's gonna be able to do this, but we'll see. Ryan Rogers.
You want me to make a pun
Yeah,
off of
try.
Ryan Rogers?
Yeah, exactly. If let's see, if are you more of a punaholic than Aaron is an alcoholic? Can you actually turn this into anything? Because if this was a beer, Aaron would drink it. If Ryan Rogers was a beer, Aaron would drink it. So.
Oh boy, Ryan Rogers. How can I make a pun out of that? I mean, you got the most one of the most American sounding names like even possible. Like,
Yeah, it's because it reminds you of Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Yeah, there you go. Reminds me of Steve Rogers, Captain America. And what I have to say to that, Rogers that.
It wasn't your best work, but we'll take it. We'll take it. It was all right. It was okay.
I had look what I had to work with, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'll take it. It was acceptable.
Hey,
It was acceptable enough. Yeah,
there's a really good mixed drink that has whiskey in it. It's called a Rye and Rogers.
There's also a Roy Rogers.
No.
There is a Roy Rogers.
Yeah, but
That's
this
what I
one,
order
the
whenever
one,
I
the one
go
I'm
to
talking
restaurants.
about is called.
But there is a Roy Rogers.
A Rye and Rogers.
Rye and Rogers. Wow, you should have gotten Ryan Rogers.
Yeah,
But he wouldn't have done the pun. He only did it to embarrass you.
I did because it was so.
And I
much better.
think to make things even, Emery, you have some honey whiskey, do you not?
Yes, I'm drinking it right now.
You got to swig it and to one up Aaron on his alcoholism.
I am. I'm currently drinking it, man.
Excellent. We're all balanced out. Aaron, Ben Barker. Now, obviously, this one is ripe for pun, but we won't be doing that because we've done it 18 times.
We punned that out. It's all out of puns.
punished that one. Yes.
Ben Barker, what happened to you yesterday was difficult, but you're gonna get over it. Specifically, I'm referring to when you went to the She-Ra factory and you you stood in a painful position for 17 hours and had to call your master.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure I followed what his day was, but okay.
It was
Sorry
a
for that,
rough
awful.
day, and that's why. But you're
clearly.
through it now. You called your master, and he took care of it. So.
He said, "At ease, soldier."
When did he become in the military? All right, whatever, doesn't matter. Ben, you got a complicated life. Hopefully, Emery, you can tell us if Rob Camjathy has a more simplistic life.
Rob Cam Jathy. You know what he likes to do? He likes to steal from the rich and give to the poor because his name is Rob in Hood Cam Jathy. Get it?
Sorry, it's Camjathy.
He likes
Camjathy.
he goes to the sheriff of Nottingham and he crouches real down low and he punches him right in the balls, and then he yoinks his golden teeth out of his mouth, and then he pawns them, and then he buys hot dogs for poor people. That's what he does.
He also
Wow.
drives a new European car. that's very fast. It's called a Cam Jathy.
But his name is Com Jathy.
What?
Exactly. His name is Rob Com Jathy. It was my mistake. I read it wrong.
Okay,
You bitch.
okay. Damn it.
It's all my bad. Sorry, Rob. I'm the worst. Anyway, thank you to everyone for backing us. And now we will move on to our next subject, which is also provided by another Patreon backer you guys are very familiar with, Alden Fisher. Hey, shout.
Turkey.
Alden Fisher would not appreciate your turkey noises. Okay, that one he might like. Alden Fisher wanted to know. Well, he didn't actually pick this. He just told me to pick something on his behalf. But this is what I picked. So today, at the time we record this, Microsoft announced they're going to introduce a $10 a month digital rental service for the Xbox One. So basically the idea is you pay like $10 a month, and then you have like the Netflix of gaming on your Xbox and Windows 10. So currently there's not many titles up there, but I think they're going to get within 100 titles this year, and then the idea is to expand on it. So you're essentially making basically the Netflix equivalent, but for gaming. Now, I was just curious what everyone would think of this concept. I'm assuming, without saying a damn thing, I'm assuming, Aaron, you won't really care much because you don't really tend to use your Xbox. And then when I tell you it works on PC, you'll ask if that means Steam. I'll say no, and then you still won't want it, or maybe you will. Emery, I guarantee you want this, and I have no interest. How correct was I?
Great. Conversation over.
I think that it's a really cool idea for our channel because I feel like if we just have access to this massive library of games, it'll be a lot easier for us to pick just on the fly, hey, that game looks like fun, let's fucking download it. Rather than having to just send you out to like scour Best Buys and fucking half-price books looking for some game. We can just potentially just download it for free. Well, not for free, but So I think it's got some potential for our channel. Would I use it in my for fun in my regular life? I don't know. I don't think I would sign up for it because I actually am pretty particular about what games I want to play for fun. There's only a handful of them. So it actually seems like a complete waste of money to sign up for something like this for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Surprising?
Not really. I figured you would find it in some way good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's true. It would be potentially good for our channel, but I'm not totally sure about that because I had a GameFly membership and we used to use it, but now we don't. For the most part, we don't get any games from GameFly, and I don't even have the membership anymore. Part of that, though, is because sometimes we're lucky enough to actually get the games from the people who make them, or Machinima sends them to us to do a walk-in through or whatever. Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it just depends. It depends on if there are a lot of choices, or if we do know that there's a bunch of games that we only want to make one or two videos of. But I myself, yeah, I wouldn't use it. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't use it. So that's where we all
obviously go. Because you don't actually play any games.
So no, it has nothing to do with playing it. It's all about I do not respect digital gaming. That's what that is.
Well, what was the last video game you ever played, Adam?
I was playing Far Cry 4 yesterday.
Far Cry 4.
Mm-hmm.
You still play that game? Haven't you beaten it?
That's the only game
he plays. But I was just enjoying it, so I was just playing it for fun. That weird word that we never really get to use.
That's kind of strange. I'm very, very surprised by that.
Yeah, you'll live. And so if there's nothing else on that subject, Alden, thank you very much. And we are now down to our last subject for this particular podcast, where we were just going to talk about upcoming projects and stuff we have, including the Patreon Discord, which Aaron jumped the gun on. So we don't have to do that, I guess. But what else is going on? What's coming up? I know Skyrim for Pimps, finally making a return.
Hell yeah. In fact, it's closer than you think. Objects in Mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah, there's a motherfucking Emery T-Rex coming up on your ass.
Exactly. And in my tiny little arms, I am holding a Skyrim for Pimps episode. It's going to blow your fucking mind. It's going to be like, all right, I don't want to say an exact number, but around 20-ish minutes. And it's starring a very special character that you might not foresee. Although maybe by me saying this, you're going to foresee them. So forget that I said it.
Nah.
Plus, I think we might have shared one of those images on Patreon, so they might already know.
Oh, you guys might already
I don't even
have
remember
an idea.
I don't remember if we did that or not.
I don't think so. The ones that I shared on there gave nothing away. So
Okay.
Oh, then never mind. You still don't know.
You have no fucking idea, do you little fuckers?
wow.
They could probably guess. If they're really devoted to the show, they would know. They could probably put two and two together.
You know, the problem with releasing a new Skyrim episode is that once we release it, then everyone is just like, where's the next one?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we don't get a break on it.
yeah. And we won't take a break on this next episode. We are hoping to release it pretty... I mean, I shouldn't say pretty soon because that'll...
Yeah, don't...
We're gonna-
you're thinking...
we're gonna
hey,
stick to the
careful.
word like
you're
quicker.
thinking in Emery time.
Quicker.
Yeah, you're thinking...
Yes.
You're thinking in Emery time. You got to
Yes.
think in real time here.
In real time, it's going to be, an incredibly long time from now, but in every time, it's going to be much, much quicker.
In Emery time, it's like tomorrow afternoon. Like,
But yeah, we're going to round out this season. We're going to, wrap it up nice and tight for you kiddies, and you're going to love how it ends.
What? When did we release the last one? Like September?
the last one was released. If you give me just a moment, I will come up with that answer for you.
Oh yeah, give me that answer, baby.
I know that the one before that came out in July. We only did... I actually calculated this earlier. We only did 10 episodes of that show this year. In all of 2016 calendar year.
It's actually better than I thought.
10 episodes.
Yeah, it's because the first 8 all came out by like May, and then there was like this massive slowdown because of how complicated they started getting.
Yes.
The last episode at the time of this recording was Fear and Loathing in Skyrim, Season 6, Episode 40. You want to take guesses? Guesses? You said September. Emery, take a guess.
I want to say November.
If we average it out, you'd be right. October 23rd.
October. Oh, yeah, it was really close to November, man.
And it was really close to September. They border each other.
4 months. Okay, well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 2 months. 2 months on this next one.
So this the very next one's coming out any day now.
Yeah.
Depending on when you're listening to this podcast. And
It might already be
you're saying
out.
2 months from
2 months
when the next
maximum.
one
And you
comes
know
out.
why I'm saying that? Because we when we were together last, we spent literally like 2 days plotting out everything else and figuring out what was going to happen. And what held this one up was that we didn't know what was going to work. We had to test out a bunch of things. We had to work out a whole bunch of shit, and that doubled or even tripled the amount of time it should have taken.
Yeah.
That shit's done. That
Yeah.
shit is all figured out. Now we
Unfortunately-
just have to make the episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't explain it to you in any greater detail because it would just give away a bunch of spoilers. But trust us, it was a logistical nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty great. We'll love to talk about it one day when we can. But yeah, so other things coming up that you guys potentially are excited about other than Skyrim, or is that all we're focusing on?
I mean, once Skyrim comes out, we're going to finish the Harry Potter Connect. We're going to. There's always going to be 7 Days to Die every Sunday.
I want to do
in
more
fact,
Yakuza.
Yeah, or Yakuza. We're going to do more Yakuza. We're going to start up Fallout New Vegas. And with 7 Days to Die, actually, there's a little bit of urgency because they're going to apparently, supposedly, going to change the block structure in April. And I thought they said they were never going to do this again, but supposedly they are, which means that our entire world that we've got set up is going to be fucked. So we have to.
Man.
We absolutely have to get through this story arc before they do that because we can't remake an entire world. It's just not.
Yeah, that'll be brutal.
John Mangram's already been pushed to the limits, so I don't want to. We're going to have to just wrap it up and get through it.
He calls me drunk sometimes late at night and says how sad he is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because you said you were going to eat him and turn him into pasta and then shit him all over the place?
No, he hasn't. I'm sure he's
That's
gonna
probably
mention
what
that
did
next
it.
time he calls me out of sadness and despair.
Like, hey man, I heard you're gonna turn me into calories. Why? Why? What did I do to you?
I want to gain your power, John.
No, I
have to
invited
eat
you
you
to
to
a
gain
nice. I invited you to a nice ski weekend, and you turned me into calories.
You actually do a really good John Mangrum impression.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm
Drunk
impressed.
John Mangrum.
I'm not trying to. I'm just not being me. But thank you.
I don't even know what he
That's-
sounds like drunk or if he even drinks, but you sound like him. So
Thank you. I think he's a little. In my version, he's kind of drunk. He's tipsy. But okay, is that it, everybody? We good? Any other projects you want to tell people about? I guess they can know that we're doing celebrity videos still on Machinima largely right now, but you can still see them on our channel.
yeah, we'll be releasing them on our channel too. So you can just wait till they come out on our channel
if you prefer. Yeah.
if you prefer.
All right. Well, then I think this is.
Wait, I have an update.
Oh,
about something
God.
some people have been wondering about.
Oh,
Bwet and I a couple weeks ago spent an evening figuring out how to use Fantasy Grounds, and we figured it out. And it required a lot of fucking with my fucking router and like opening up ports and all this bullshit. And it took us like 4 hours, but we figured it out. So a D&D game on Fantasy Grounds with me is going to be a thing sometime soon. Any of you that are
Unfortunately,
interested in that. What?
Unfortunately, Emery, there's no one interested in that because Aaron and I are the only two people that heard that. Because by the time they got to that point listening to it, they've all tuned out. There's no one left.
Well, good.
You
Then I'm
can't-
going to have a
you can't-
small little D&D party.
You, in fact, you could say anything you want right now. No one will ever hear this.
All right.
This part never gets heard.
In that case, I voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, we know.
Wow.
That wasn't even a secret.
Just kidding. I didn't do that. I didn't.
He might have. I don't know.
No,
He's
I
hard
wrote
to
in
read.
Bernie Sanders. I swear to you, I wrote in Bernie Sanders.
That's
Which he was. That was
Also
even dumber actually because
not
he was
good
ineligible.
knowledge.
But I voted in Illinois, which was going to go to Hillary no matter what, so it was fine.
Yeah. It was also one of the 11 states where they have sore loser laws, so Bernie actually totally was not eligible here.
I know.
So.
It didn't matter. My vote didn't matter. But at least I fucking went. All right? At least I voted.
he voted with your stomach.
I voted.
Yeah.
I voted with my
Yeah,
conscience.
you're like, I need some John Mangrum leftovers. Anybody got a doggy bag? You know, fucking asshole. All right. We good? We done? You happy?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this. And hopefully stick around and listen to them in the future. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Adios, muchachos.